Hi everyone, Jeremy here from Flatware Creations. I was just sitting in the shop. I'm like, hey, I'm about ready to solder some of our brass back plates onto, can you see that? Onto these spoons that we've cut out. Right now, I have this guy, this owl. He is all rigged up. I have to get the clamps where I want them so that I can get the solder where I want it, and it holds down the brass to go all the way around it. So it's kind of tricky, but let's start off. So what I've done is I used just a tiny little flux, just enough to hold the solder in place. And then I've gone around and made sure that it was all out of my my field of view and not outside the brass that I have on the back. I'm just gonna slowly start to warm it up. Get all the color to change. So everything, you can see everything warming up. Let's see if I can get you down in here. So I already know that I'm going to have some tricky spots that I'm going to have to go back through after. I'm just waiting for it to start falling down. I'm starting to see some solder there. No. I don't want solder on my log. It's always something. Let's see. I forgot my spray bottle. so I did get some solder right there on my log. But what I have to do now is take this all apart. I'll zoom out for you. So get all my clamps off here, and we'll see what we have to go back and fix. I got a little bowl of water here. All right, so we've got our owl. So what I'm trying to do now, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little tiny lips, little gaps. So what I have to do is go back and fill those gaps, because I don't want any of that poking up or pulling off. So it looks like I just have 2 little gaps, maybe 3. So what I've done is I've taken my solder and I've flattened it out and I've cut it in half and then so what that allows me to do is get this almost paper thin solder. It lets me slide it underneath and I can make sure that I'm not putting it so I'm sliding it underneath, and I just want to make sure I don't go too far to go up into the cavity, my viewing space. So I'm going to put it right in there, just kind of mark it, and then I'm going to cut that little sliver off. Flatten it out again. And this solder is, it has its own flux. So what I'll do here is I'm going to pinch it. So what I want to do is I want to pinch, let's see, what side do you need to see? This piece right here that I put our solder under, I want to make sure that's clamped down. Actually, I might be able to do it with the big guy. Yeah, that's better. So that's clamped down that whole corner. Get our block up here again. And because I'm going to heat this up, some of the other parts might come around and unsolder. We do not want that. So let's just get this piece put in there real quick. And I'm just going to heat this piece up until it melts and flattens down. And that's it. Dip it in the tank. what that leaves me with is a nice flat surface again. So it's not going to catch on anything. So now I have just this side that I need to get done. You can see it good there. So let's get our solder back out. Now this one's a pretty long seam. I don't know, I think the solder was just in too deep, too close to this edge. Let's see, too close in here instead of out on the outline. So we'll just flatten this down a little bit. And just marked it. And there's another little tiny gap. Right up here. That's a small one. Okay. All right, so this piece should be able to get it with just one clamp. No, I think it's going to take two. I like using these long, I think they're 8 or 9 inches, 8-inch curved nose forceps. I've taken and ground down the teeth so they barely leave any marks, but it doesn't take a whole lot of pressure to get them tightened down. There we go. So now I'm just looking to make sure that I got everything tight. We'll come back to this. And again, I'm going just straight for that spot. I'm looking for that solder to kind of pop out. So let's undo this guy. So, because I couldn't see it, I just saw part of it start to come out, that little bubble. I sprayed it too soon, so that gap is still there. So this time, I'm going to adjust my snips so that I can see everything there. And what I'm doing with these are just clamps, tweezers, I guess. I'm using those as the spot so that I don't have to mark up the spoon or fork, and it gives me that leverage to get in there. So now everything is tight right up against that edge, and I can see the edge now. Going this way. Come on. Alright, so that turned out ugly. It just did not want to close down, and I was afraid of it. The more solder I put in there, that it was going to go inside, but it didn't, so that's good. One thing worked out. So now we're pretty close. We can fix the rest of that up with the grinder. Or not grinder, but the Dremel. So there we go. We got our owl soldered up. It's not gonna let me change the light. Alright, I just wanted to show you kind of the process, how everything's kind of rigged up. Just a short, quick video. Have fun.